With the ignition side of things sorted out, I have to turn my attention to the lighting. Again, the mice have been at the wiring loom. There's an intermittent fault with the rear light. Sometimes it comes on, sometimes it doesn't. And I can't get the main beam to work. So, as you can see, a quick look at the computer for the wiring diagram, and then it's back to the bike. Gradually working through all the different circuits and trying to find out what's wrong. It's amazing how much time can be lost just sorting out where bits and pieces are going and how they've changed from one end of the bike to the other. I also found a couple of wires spliced into the ignition circuit. So here you can see me removing them and checking that I've taken the right wires out. The main problem seems to be power from the battery not quite reaching the lighting switch. So here you can see me working through it. It turned out to be a break in the main loom, but you have to go through everything and see what's happening. Here I'm checking a switch, but eventually it comes down to taking off the petrol tank, cutting the cover off of the main loom, and I found the brake. There was also a dodgy connection on the switch. I think it's supposed to be bridged between terminal 10 and terminal 2, and the bridging piece completely corroded away. So I simply soldered in a fine wire between those 2 points. After that, everything started to fall into place. So I put the horn back in, repositioned the switches in the headlamp nacelle, and eventually got everything working. All I have to do now is wire in a brake light switch, but I have to wait until that comes. It's in the post by all accounts.
Your mind is simply trying to adjust to the recent shock you received when you were injured there.
So, moving on to the carburetor. A simple clean, it's not too bad inside. Only one jet, so, but that was blocked, I must admit. So here I'm taking off the air filter. That will be given a good wash with carb cleaner. The main jet was taken out, the pilot jet was unscrewed, the air screw. And you've seen me do this before. It's just a general clean and keep everything nice and clean and spotless. One trick here is, I don't know if you can see on the bench there's a set of micro drills. I've had these for 20 odd years, but they're very good for cleaning the jets. But you got to be careful. If you start using the actual drill side of things, it's very easy to open the jet by mistake. So what I do is, once you get the jet out and you give it a good squirt with carb cleaner, go down to a small size, smaller than you believe the hole to be, and use the shank of the drill to push the dirt out of the jet, gradually working up through them until you'll find one won't go through. Obviously you stop there. It's again, it's just so that you don't open up the main jet too much with cleaning it. The throttle cable had to be replaced, so one was put in position and then shortened to suit the bike. Here you can see me soldering on the barrel nipple that goes in the throttle. On this I can use soft solder. Normally I use silver solder, but the barrel on this is very small. But I still prefer to use plumber's solder over electrical solder. I just feel it's a bit stronger. It has a slightly higher melting point, and I believe that to make it a bit stronger. With that all sorted, it was reassemble the throttle and put it back into position. Yep, looks like I got that about right.
I want to see you clearly before I kill you.
The clutch cable was in good condition and didn't really need replacing. But where the bike's been sitting so long, I thought it'd be a good idea to lubricate the cable itself. So here I've got one of those cable lubricators that clamps on the outer and then uses a plunger to pump oil down. I think they're brilliant, so easy to use. I use ATF as the lubricant, always seemed to work well for me, and if the cables are nylon lined, it doesn't affect the nylon, whereas ordinary oil can make them swell up and lock the cable solid. The adjuster needed freeing off as well. Bit of a pain, but here you can see me returning the cable back to the lever. Cheating really. But a lot better. One last job before I call it a day is to replace the Jubilee clip that was holding the silencer to the downpipe with a proper clamp. Just took off the silencer, got the clamper the right size and put it back together again. I swapped out the footrests as well. There was only one pillion footrest on it, so I dug out a pair of second-hand ones I had in a box and put them on. At least they're matching now and they're in keeping with the bike. I'm trying to avoid new bits and pieces sticking out like a sore thumb. I'm trying to keep the appearance of the bike as if it was untouched. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.